We continue with the 18th chapter of the book of Yeshaya. We're still in the prophecies to other nations and other peoples, and we have this brief chapter today. It's difficult to ascertain. It's not clear as to what exactly the chapter is even referring to. Hoi eretz tziltzal knafayim asher me'ever lenahare kush. Oh, the land in the deep shadow of wings beyond the rivers of Cush. What is Cush? We think of Cush as Ethiopia. According to many, it's sort of southern Egypt. So it's not exactly clear exactly what this means, but we're talking about other lands, just like Yeshaya has talked about what's going to happen to the Moabites and what's going to happen to the Babylonians and perhaps what's going to happen to the Assyrians. And next chapter, we're going to talk about what's going to happen to the Egyptians. Hasholech bayam tzirim uvechli gema al pnei mayim lechu malachim kalim el goy mimushach umurat el am nora minhu vahala goy kav umivusa asher bazu naharim artso. So go you messengers, you swift, you fast messengers, to a nation far and remote. Who are these messengers? Are these messengers coming from the south of Cush to go to Israel? Is it Jews who are exiled there who are going back to Israel? Unclear. Right? Go from a nation far away and go forth towards the nations whose land is cut off by stream, which sends out envoys by sea, whose boats are made of paper or made of something like papyrus. So again, unclear exactly what it's talking about. Is this talking about historically Bnei Israel when they came out of Egypt? Is it talking? It's unclear what is being referred to in this chapter. Verse 3 is probably the most well-known verse in this chapter. Kol yoshvei tevel v'shochnei aretz kinosa nes harim tiru v'tekoa shofar tishma'u. All those who live in the land, right? Everybody all over the world and inhabit the earth. What's going to happen when a flag is raised in the hill and you hear the ram's horn, you hear the shofar? Listen, tishma'u, pay attention. We know that verse because it's one of the 10 verses that are used in the Musaf service on Rosh Hashanah, the section of shofarot. And this is a verse that seems to be implying something about kibbutz goliot, when the ingathering of the exiles from different nations. And so again, sort of unclear as to what it's referring to. Going back, is this right? Those south of Cush are those members of Bnei Israel who are returning back in today's day and age. We could say they're the Ethiopian Jews of the past 20 years. It's not clear historically or at all what is going on here. Keep going. Kicho amar Adonai Eli eshkata va'abita b'mechoni kechom tzach aleor. Because God said to me, I rest calm and confident in my place, in my machon, in my habitation, like terrible heat upon sprouts, like rain cloud in the heat of repairing time. So again, what does this mean? Some commentaries seem to say it's going to mean that God is going to destroy Esav's descendants, the Edomites and the Amalek, for the horrors they've caused to Bnei Israel, and it's going to happen right with the kibbutz goliot, with the return of the exiles. So ki lifnei katsir ketam perach uvoser gomel yihiyeh nitzah, for before the harvest, but after the budding, when the blossom has hardened into berries. And the way the Rashi understands this is we're talking about apocalyptic events, sort of in between. But right, Amalek maybe has been destroyed, but the full battle that's discussed, the Gog, Magog, the battle that sort of is the apocalyptic end of days battle, whatever that means. It's sort of it's happening, it's starting to happen, but it's not fully happened yet. And so when that happens, what's going to happen? V'charat hazalzalim b'mazmerot ve'et hanitishot heisir heitaz. God will trim away the twigs with pruning hooks, with mazmerot. Remember, that's the same word that was used back in the second chapter, that they're going to beat their swords into pruning hooks or plowshares. So here, God's going to trim away the twigs with pruning hooks, and he's going to cut off branches. Those are the things that he's going to do. So is this referring to nations, that some of the nations are going to have pieces of them cut off, as we're sort of getting to this, right? They're going to be people who are killed. There are going to be a lot of branches that are cut down. There's not going to be as many people left. Ya'azvu yachtav le'eit harim. We're in verse 6. They shall all be left on the hills, ulevehemat haaretz, and to the beasts of the earth. What this is referring to is presumably what was cut off of those trees, meaning the dead bodies. Those who are dead, they're going to be left on the hills for the birds to come and peck at them, for the beasts to come and eat the carcasses. The katzalav ha'ayit v'chol behemat haaretz alav techaraf. And the birds will come, and the beasts will come, and shall will eat them and spend winter there, and they're going to spend a year there. And at least what Rashi says is this shows that the milchama of Gog Magog, this apocalyptic end of days war, is going to take like a year, because they're being killed, and later it's the winter, and so it's like a whole year has passed. But etahi yuval shai ladonai tzvaot am mushach umorat ume'am nora minhu vahala. In that time, tribute will be brought to the God of hosts. Right, always this Hashem who is the tzava, from a people far and remote. That's the same words we had used earlier about the people far and remote who have to send their messengers. Perhaps those people south of Cush, a nation of pride, Norah, a nation whose land is cut off by streams, at the place where the name of God abides, at Har Tzion. I didn't read to the end of the pasuk. My apologies. Goy kav kavu mvusa. Asher bazu naharim artso el makom shem Adonai tzvaot har Tzion. So this people is going to pay tribute to God. At least seemingly the way to understand this verse is it's talking about this future, this messianic period. We've had now the nations, or the oppressors of Israel. They have been killed, and members of Bnei Israel are have come back from far away, the kibbutz goliot. And now that they have returned, they're going to offer tribute. They're going to offer sacrifices. They're going to offer presents. They're going to offer prizes. They're going to offer all sorts of stuff that's going to demonstrate that they will be in the future obedient to God. Now, of course, part of the irony, I would say, of this Yeshaya saying this about bringing presents and whatnot, and is that Yeshaya many times has said that God is not interested in your sacrifice. It's not something that God wants. But here, when we're talking about the end of times, we're talking about destruction and cutting away of the branches of other nations who sort of have, to understand it possibly as meaning who have kept Bnei Israel out of Israel, That's why they're south of Cush. That's why they're sort of in the place of non-habitation, if you want to put it as such. Think about, right, the kingdom of Achashverosh, which was, right, from Hodu via Kush, all the way from India to Ethiopia, southern Egypt. It's like Bnei Israel are not even in the regular place of habitation. They've been pushed so far away from society and this from civilization. And this chapter, when we hear the blasting of the shofar and the flag of God is raised, the other nations will fall down, and our people will return back to the land of Israel, and there once again worship God properly.